On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks get a palate-cleansing win against the Blazers. The Mavs need to play through Cooper Flagg. They just do. Tell you why. Today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I think that's a good question. Good morning, Isaac.
You are Locked On Mavs.
Great,
your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, where we dare I? Let it ride! Your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member from the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for reading every day. Make it Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Make it Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And joining me, as always, the post-game prodigy from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What'd you see from the Dallas Mavericks tonight, Slightly Biased?
I saw a fun win, a team that desperately needed a win. Even if you are Team Tank, you can't lose every single game. This team has been fighting hard. They've been in games. They've played in the most clutch games in the entire NBA. Was this game 11? Clutch game number 11, I think.
Wow.
And you needed a win. So this was a feel-good one. And, you know, our boy, our 18-year-old rookie taking us there, man. I mean, what's not to be happy about?
We're at the point of the season, though, where you said you can't lose all of them.
Yeah.
That's the point of the season.
Well, you got to get some. Even in like you don't want to be the Nets for the. Even if you are kind of like, we should be hoping for some losses. You don't want to be the Wizards or the Nets.
We'll talk about the Mavs offense, how the Mavs got to this win. We'll talk about P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford. Talk about Klay Thompson. Welcome to the NBA season. Klay Thompson, the last couple of games, has really woken up. And I want to start here, though. Let's talk about Cooper Flagg, because the start of this Mavericks season, the big story around the Mavericks, besides the obvious, was that the Mavericks are going to start Cooper Flagg at point guard. And they were going to play him there, and the Mavs are going to play Cooper Flagg at point. And what are they going to do? And how are they going to run their offense? And does their offense, this new motion offense from Jay Triano, does it even need a point guard? And how are they going to run things and all that? And then they trotted out Cooper Flagg at the quote-unquote point guard for like 6 games or something, like 6-7 games or something like that. You know, some of those games. And
No. I can't sit here and stand for that. I'm not a part of that. What just happened?
And then they – well, part of what?
I'm not a part of it.
And then they had the most terrible offense maybe in NBA history for the beginning part of that season. And they set Cooper Flagg up to fail in a lot of ways, I think. We walked through a bunch of different ways on this show. We talked about how he was going against some of the best defenders in the NBA, how there were no guards to set him up or set anybody else up in any way. There were not really plays run where he was supposed to be the point guard and running pick and rolls or doing things like that or having the ball in advantageous positions. And now, 14 games into his NBA career, he's starting to understand the mismatches. He's starting to understand how he can take advantage of some of these other players. He's starting to understand how he, as you know, this 6'9" guy that can handle the ball, that can post up, that can score on all 3 levels, like within 3 possessions, he can do that, and he did that tonight. How he can get his offense going. And now that he's doing that, it's now time to play through Cooper Flagg. I'm not saying put him back at the point guard, but I'm saying you have to play through Cooper Flagg now the way that they did at the end of that fourth and in overtime. Because Cooper Flagg in the fourth quarter of this one, late in this game, he had a moment where he drove, spun, righty floater over Deni Avdija. He knew that he could shoot over the top of Deni Avdija anytime he wanted to. And he did with 1:10 left, and he tied the game again at 117. Then, with 51 seconds left, he drives right into Toumani Camara, who made the all-defensive team last year, got a foul and made the free throw and tied it at 118 again. Then he gets some more in overtime where they're putting him – they're giving the ball in an advantageous position, either at the top of the key or whatever, giving him some space to actually work with, which is huge too because the Mavs actually made some threes in this game. And you saw the results, and I think it's time to go back to playing through Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, I mean, in the first half of this game, I was wondering I don't understand what is happening right now. Just because it was this, he had 3 shots in the first half. Yeah. One of them was a dunk in transition. The other one was a tip-in attempt. And the last one was a, brushed end of shot clock. Oh, good look from the corner, don't get me wrong, but a hurried shot at the end of the shot clock. I was just like, I don't understand if you go first 2 weeks of the season, we're trying this guy at point guard. He's very uncomfortable, and clearly this is not the best situation for him, and he's clearly not ready to handle something like this. To then go from that to, hey, we're going to spend like entire 24-minute stretches of a game where you just go stand in a corner. They have to figure out a way. And it doesn't really make sense to me either, because then you get into the second half and an overtime of that Clippers game, and it's very obvious that they're like, okay, get the ball to Cooper Flagg. Like, we'll get the ball to Cooper Flagg at the top of the key and post-ups, whatever. Like, he has to have the ball in his hands. And then they come out in the second half of this game, and it's the same exact thing again, where it's clear that there was an in-game adjustment of get the ball to Cooper Flagg. I don't understand why they're not doing this from the onset, why there's not 20 shots a game from Cooper Flagg at this point. Because, yeah, he's turning into this player now where over the last 7 games, I guess 6 games, because this game doesn't count, but it's been, including this one, 7 games that they've when I say not count, it's not like on this thing yet, but
they haven't updated the stats.
Yeah. So since they've implemented a point guard in their lineup, whether it's D'Lo or Brandon Williams, 17 points a game on 45% or 48% shooting. Sorry. So you're starting to see, and 3 stocks a game too. I don't think that's necessarily a coincidence either that he's not point guard anymore, and the defensive stuff's really starting to tick up.
Yes.
But yeah, it's putting him in better situations. And yeah, there's interesting stuff. Like there was a possession right at the end of the overtime period when Brandon Williams got a layup that pretty much iced the game, where Cooper Flagg started the possession at the nail, and there was just setting screens and rescreening for Brandon Williams, and he didn't get the ball there. But it's like, I don't get why you're not doing this over the course of a 48-minute game. That's the next thing in the process, I think.
We're at this point where he can't get 3 shots in a quarter or in a game in a half.
Yeah,
which he got in the first half, right? Like,
yeah, that can't happen.
And those, because one, the Mavs offense is not good enough for them to ignore a player with those kind of skills in Cooper Flagg. And 2, this whole season is about his development, right? Like, you're not trying to win now. We've already gone over the percentage of teams that start the season 3-10 and actually make the playoffs. It's like 8%. It's like very low. And so you're not trying to do that. Look, it is all about Cooper Flagg, and everything has to point towards him and to get his development going. And it's NBA players, and some of these guys are going for contracts, and you get that and all this, but you have to design stuff, and you have to run things through Cooper Flagg right now, because that is everything this season is. And honestly, it's some of your best offense that you can get going, because some of his passes too were like the best on the team. What he finished with 5 assists in this game, and he had some really good kickouts. He had one to Christie, I think late. There was a 3. That one, I think it was the one to Christie where it was just a left-handed like bullet pass while he drove through the lane. Like,
oh yeah,
he is also just a special passer, and I think some of his like unselfishness, and obviously being 18, being the youngest player in the NBA, being a rookie on this team of all vets, like makes you a little bit more timid than you would be coming into a team where, like, all right, everybody else I've played against in college before, or I played against in AAU, or I played against in high school, and I know that I'm the best player on this team. Like, that he didn't get that confidence early on in the season, because he's like, all right, now I'm coming into the situation. Also, with this looming cloud over this franchise of this just weirdness that is the Dallas Mavericks right now, you can't deny that is a part of this too. But now you're starting to see, all right, we've shed some of the weirdness. We've shed, some of the players are injured, and so now it's like, all right, well, you're starting to lose different players that would take shots and all that. And you're like, all right, well, we don't really have a choice. Like, we've got to give the ball to Cooper Flagg. And that's why I'm frustrated after a first half where it only takes 3 shots, because you just don't have any other options to go to a lot of the time. And so I loved what I saw from him in the clutch. And he just it's like almost he turned on a switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's very encouraging that he's capable of this and not shy of it, and almost welcoming of having the ball late. And it's 2 games in a row now where it's like end of game, 4th quarter, overtime, put the ball in his hands and let him go to work. And, I think you mentioned it, like it's post. You talked about Toumani Camara. I don't know if you've said it on here. This is our second recording, but you said on here or it was on a tweet. Like, Toumani Camara is an all NBA defender. Like, some of these buckets are tough, and it's very encouraging to see. Yeah, it is. It's difficult because, like you said, this team's wanting to win. There's not like a tank incentive. These guys are all NBA players, but there has to be an understanding early in games. Like, hey, man, you got to get this guy involved right away, because it's not like he's going to go out there and touch the ball and then it's the shot, the possession's over. He's going to dribble the ball for 15 seconds and shoot a shot. Like, you got a good chance of getting the ball right back. So you got to implement this guy earlier in games for sure.
Earlier in games, earlier in the shot clock, earlier, and he gets guys involved too. Like that. the thing about him.
Yeah.
Coming up, the Mavs offense was great tonight. Let's talk about how they got there. Let's talk about what things worked for the Mavericks, what things we saw. Is it anything replicable? We'll get into all that and more. Locked On Mavs continues. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Robinhood. Robinhood Gold, your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legends Advanced tools. Or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio made by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. That's, again, Robinhood.com/yourmoney. It's your money, your move. Also brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Game Time, when you just want to do stuff. There's so much stuff happening right now in DFW. We've got Dallas Mavericks games, got Dallas Stars games, got Cowboys. I think Cowboys only have 4 home games left. Comedy, concerts, theaters, all kinds of things. I have used Game Time for all those tickets to go to things around DFW. There's like an insane amount of theaters and different things and concert venues in DFW. Go check out and see what is playing in your area. And Game Time makes it easy to get NBA tickets and others fast, easy, stress-free. You can see the views from your seats, see exactly what you're going to pay at checkout. I love using Game Time. You can even buy NBA tickets for under $25, which is insane. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $20 off your first purchase. Again, the code is LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go with Game Time.
Shut it down! Oh, let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. We appreciate each and every one of you if you're checking out the show and listening. And we have all kinds of different ways to follow the show. We're doing all kinds of bonus episodes and things like that. So make sure you're subscribed to the feed. Help us get to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. So go and subscribe right now. Even if you don't watch on YouTube, just subscribe. I just want to see the number. I just want to see 50 and the 3 other zeros after that. That's just what I want to see. So go subscribe there. Check the links in the description and the QR code for different ways to follow the show. All right, Slightly. We're talking about my music just stopped. We're talking about different ways that the Mavericks offense was getting going in this game against the Blazers. They had their second best game, according to offensive rating, of the season. I think it was their best offensive game. They had 33 assists, the most this season. They shot their best from 3 this season. They had 7 players in double figure scoring, almost 8. Naji missed that free throw at the end. It would have been 8, and that would have been their most this season. They had 3 players with 20-plus points, which is only the second time this season. And all those instances were the Toronto game. Like, it's the Toronto game and this one. The only time that the Mavs' offensive rating has been above 110 was those 2 games, and it was 125 tonight. It's like, what did the Mavericks do in this game that actually made it work for them, opposed to all the other terrible offensive games you and I have talked about after games like this, where we just go, oh my gosh, that was a slugfest.
Well, they did a great job not turning the ball over, which has been a massive thorn in their side so far this season. That's also led to them struggling defensively, because when they get set offensively, or defensively, they are one of the best in the NBA. Like, I think they've entered top 3 by defensive rating. I could be wrong about that, but they're in the top 5 for sure. So it's kind of crazy that they've been that good defensively. But also, I mean, they were hitting shots tonight, but they were generating a lot of really good looks from the corner. And I feel like so much of that is Brandon Williams and these guys like Brandon Williams getting pressure on the rim and the paint. And I think you're starting to see that too with when Cooper gets a little bit more implemented and he's driving and attacking, what that can lead to. And I mean, they went 6 of 12 on corner threes tonight. So those are the shots you want to generate, and those are the shots in a half court game that this is probably the best they've looked in the half court this year, if I had to guess. And a lot of that does come down to just shooting, obviously. But I mean, this was a welcome sight for the team, to put it lightly.
Are you saying Jason Kidd was right that they just needed to make shots?
Well, that's always true. That's like
it is always true. You can't actually always say that. Like, hey, we just need to make shots. You guys shot 50%. I know, but we could have made the other 50.
Right. The thing is it's like let's find the guys to make shots, and let's make sure the right guys are taking shots. But Max Christie continues to just be
an
automatic 3-pointer.
3 of 6 from 3 for him, 5 of 7 for PJ Washington from 3. Klay Thompson, 5 of 11 from 3.
He was great tonight.
Those were your culprits in a good way of the good 3-point shooting. And honestly, those are 3 good 3-point shooters in their NBA career. PJ's been up and down, but since he's been in Dallas, his 3-point shooting has been good. And so you look at those 3 guys, and you're like, all right, well, and you kind of expect one guy to go off from 3 in a game, and the Mavs just haven't had that this season very much at all in this very awful offensive start to a season. But you have those guys go off, and I think the offense kind of all stems from there. The Mavs also only shot 67% from the free throw line, took 40 free throws in this game. Another game where they just take a ton of free throws because I think they were attacking. I think they were attacking, they were getting downhill, and they were creating some of that with Brandon Williams, with Cooper Flagg, obviously, with D'Angelo Russell, with Naji Marshall, and with Gafford, setting him up off pick and rolls. They're just running the offense the way that you would think that the offense in the NBA should be run, and they're benefiting from it. Getting free throws, getting open threes, making those open threes, and then you see a good NBA offense.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked on this show, we'd have a different tune if it was we see these things that this team's doing, and it's just wait for this and this. I will say the sign that they're in so many of these clutch games, I've said it on here, I do think there's the bones of a good team here, but it's just by the time this guy comes back and this guy, AD is going to be out another week plus now.
5 more games.
Yeah, I mean, that hurts. By the time these guys come back, will it even matter? Will you even be in a position to, make a comeback? How, would you have to play at a 60-win pace for it even to be possible? And then you got to weigh in, is that even worth it at this point? But they have been the second worst three-point shooting team by accuracy this year. And, yeah, you've got guys like Max Christie who are red hot from 3. But, Coop's going to be a better three-point shooter than his current percentages are. I think he's in the 20s right now. PJ's 24%. Brandon Williams is in the teens. Klay has had a bad three-point shooting start. So some of these guys will get hot and it will look better, but the process still has some work to do.
Have you seen that clutch points graphic, which is a start of a sentence that used to mean something insane I was about to say after this, but it was just a normal, they showed 6 Dallas Mavericks and they were all between 28 and 17% from 3. It's just looked like a cemetery. Ooh. I mean
some of it too is they haven't gotten great looks, but
right.
But yeah, I mean the 3-point shooting start. Yeah, let's just look at it. Let's see. Brandon Williams 14%, Caleb Martin 16. We're not really that surprised. D'Lo's 24, PJ's 25, Coop's 26. Those are dreadful.
Bad, and they finally get good from 3 players, and I think it transforms your offense in a way where all of a sudden now you have to respect some of the 3-point shooters, and you actually have guys that can get in the lane. You have Brandon Williams doing his little Steve Nash dribble where he dribbles around. Even D'Angelo Russell, who can take over the offense sometimes. It can make some plays where you go, oh, why did you do that? But at least he's getting downhill. He finishes. He's a threat at the rim. You got to defend him up. You've got to do all those things. And it opens up your offense in ways where if you just had guys that were passing around the perimeter, trying to run these dribble handoffs and going, all right, now what do I do? It just doesn't work as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Hardy's not hurt, is he?
No, he was warming up today. He's not on the injury report.
2 straight DNPs for Jaden Hardy.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
No, I mean, that's interesting with their lack of guard play. But
lack of just shooting in general.
That's true, because the reason why I asked that because I was looking at their 3-point shooting leaderboard. Christie's 45%, Hardy's 39%, and then the next best 3-point shooter for the team, this was before tonight's game, was Naji at 30%.
Oh,
yeah, that's tough to win some games with that.
Naji at 30% was their third best 3-point shooter.
Third best 3-point shooter, yes. And if you want to say Hardy's not really a rotation player right now, then he's your second best 3-point shooter.
Gosh, PJ Washington, he made 5 of the 7 threes, like we said, and I thought first half he had 5 of their 9 turnovers, or at one point he had 5 of their 9 turnovers. That was brutal. That came back, but it was good to see him back in the lineup. They need that size, and then to add the shooting to it, the Mavs are able to go small like they did at the end of the game, and we're able to play Flagg and PJ Washington, and you don't lose as much size in that.
Yeah. Those are that duo right there was one of the most interesting duos to me coming into the season was PJ and Coop, to see how those two play off of each other.
And then we saw it with Lively, except for Lively who kept getting BS fouls at the rim, and he ends up fouling out. I thought we were finally starting to see Lively like get into a rhythm of the season, but no, that did not happen in this game.
Do you think part of it was Lively being like, I know I'm on a minute restriction. I'm going out there and guns a-blazing?
Probably a little bit, but I mean, he only played 12 minutes, like just under 12 minutes, so he didn't even hit his minute restriction probably. And so
here you go. I've got this new site that I can look this up for games. Coop and PJ Washington tonight. 23 minutes on the floor. A 150 offensive rating when those two are on the court.
Insane. Like almost perfect.
I mean, one game rating stats are insane. But I like that duo. I really do. I wonder what the 3-man. I mean, can I go 3-man on this little website?
Tune into Locked On Mavs, where Slightly discovers new stats as we go on. Coming up, Slightly will go through his stats and see what else he can find. And then we'll talk about Daniel Gafford's contributions. We'll talk about the other things the Mavs did right and some of the things the Mavs struggle with that they overcame in the second half. Coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. FanDuel has you covered for the NFL season. Like I said, you only have like 4 Cowboys home games left, and maybe that's a threat to you, or maybe this is just a normal thing somebody says. The Mavs are playing the second night of a back-to-back, so they're playing the Timberwolves, and they're not the favorites. The Mavs are a 14-point underdog against the Timberwolves as they go to Minnesota. So that one is one where if you think the Mavericks lose by less than 14 points, or even if you think the Mavericks win, if you're a new customer and you're going on FanDuel, put down $5 on that. If you absolutely think it's going to happen and you win, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app on all kinds of different things. So go and check that out. See what you can do. See what you got in your area at your time. Stuff changes all the time. They have all kinds of parlays and player props and things like that you can do. Right now, FanDuel is giving that new customer deal right now. $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to sign up now. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, listening every day. All right, Slightly. Mavs get a win against the Blazers. Cooper Flagg closes, has some clutch moments. Mavs need to play through Cooper Flagg, but Mavs offense got going. They had their passing, which was really working for them. 33 assists, their most of the season. And they had playmakers on the floor. They made some advantageous positions, and they didn't have to go against Drew Holiday, which I think was helpful. which was helpful for them. But this Blazers team is not like a pushover defensively. No. They were actually 20th in defense coming into this game, which I was kind of surprised by because they have good personnel for defense. But you saw some good things from P.J. Washington we talked about. Klay Thompson, welcome back to the season. 19 points, 5 of 11 from 3. He's shooting really well over his last 3 games. Klay Thompson is shooting – I have this new stat site where you can look up the amount of threes taken and the amount of threes made. 15 of 37.
What site is that?
NBA.
Are you going to gatekeep it?
15, NBA.com. 15 of 37 from 3. That's 40% over his last 3 games. So he's finally hitting his threes. He has been a slow starter in his career, but if the Mavs can get some three-point shooting from him, like that'll do wonders to their offense because they weren't getting anything from him. And actually what they were getting was more detrimental than it was positive.
Yeah, I mean, when Klay's hitting shots, it obviously opens up quite a bit for you because we even saw when he's coming off handoffs or whatever, you'll have 2 defenders go to him because when he's hitting threes, it just becomes oh God, we cannot let him beat us from deep. So yeah, playmaking wise, I thought he made some really nice passes too, and he had a nice little 2-man game with Gaff going. So that's nice because obviously the Mavs lack some of those guys right now. So it's good to see that, and if he's hitting threes, he's a valuable piece for you and for anybody in the league, and it's why I've always kind of thought that. I know this sucks to say after a win, but it's just like he'll have value across the league. I don't think he's some untradeable asset at all. Like teams will always look for shooting, and he still is one of the best.
It's this conundrum we'll talk about in another episode, probably a bonus one I do today, that the guys have to play and look good in order to get trade value. Like that is the Anthony Davis conundrum. That he's probably got to play a little bit to get value. But Klay is also in the same boat where you're like, oh, ship off Klay. He's playing terrible. All right, well, you're going to ship off a guy that looks terrible, shooting 28%. I don't know. Like how much does that change what a front office thinks? I mean, Stein reported on it today that Anthony Davis has got to play in order to gain some of his value back. So I buy it.
AD makes some sense because it's like I need to make sure that guy's healthy. Like, what is happening there? He was like
You would just take him sight unseen in a trade for one of your franchise cornerstones and one
No,
of the best
I would
players
not.
in franchise history. You would,
But I'd also be like, what? Like he wanted to come back and play 7 days ago, and now he's going to be out for 2 more weeks. Like what?
or
is
did
going on
Nico
there?
try to make him come back 8 days ago?
Yeah, that was damning. I mean, that if you didn't need it, evidence enough. That one was pretty damning. But no, Klay, I'm not sure though. I think teams could look at the slow start in the context and be like, he'll be better here.
You'd hope so, but maybe this like fuels a little bit of some of that. But I mean, we'll see what happens. If anything, it's helping the Mavericks offense for sure.
Right.
This season. One of the things the Mavs struggled with was offensive rebounding for the Blazers. At the end of the third quarter, the Blazers had 20 offensive rebounds. The Mavericks had 19 defensive rebounds. The Blazers had got more of their own misses than the Mavericks did, and that was brutal. The Blazers have a ton of size on this team, with obviously Klingon. He had 7, but everybody else had 2. Toumani Camara had 4. But they start like Jeremy Grant, Deni Avdija, Klingon, Jeremy Grant, and even Shaedon Sharp is like, what, 6'6"? Like, that's a really big team. The Mavs are used to being a big team. But with these injuries, they haven't been as big. And then Gafford, we know, is historically not as good, not that great of a rebounder for even his size. And so the Mavs really, really struggled in that area. But they overcame that in that fourth quarter and going into overtime. That was not an issue. And the Blazers even went small. Like, they took Klingon out to close that game because they needed they needed switching and they needed to be able to defend some of the Mavs perimeter guys.
Yeah, Klingon's been in this like weird state with this team because as of a few days ago, 40% of his shots are threes, which he's coming into this game was like a 17% 3-point shooter. So that's something that they sort of need to figure out how to get him, more involved in a way that makes more sense for him because he is a massive human being and he just towered over pretty much everyone else the Mavs had except for the minutes that D-Live was out there. But, yeah, I mean, the rebounding was a problem. Some of it I think there was some poor rebounding luck in this game where there was just a lot of long rebounds that did not bounce your way. But, yeah, just a lot of athletes for Portland. And this is something that's always kind of given this team some trouble. When these athletic teams come in that crash the glass, it requires a big-time team effort to keep those guys off. And they did when it mattered most. They locked in.
They did and got it going. Finished with Cooper Flagg. Absolutely incredible. Did you find your stat with the 3 people?
Oh yeah, it wasn't that impressive. It was 3 minutes. I mean, it was impressive, but
it was 3 minutes.
I don't really know what to take away from it. It was 3 minutes with Cooper, PJ, and Lively. But now, here it is. They played 3 minutes, and this actually might be the goated stat. They had a 120 net rating
in 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, hey, they were a +5 in 3 minutes. That's enough.
Can I complain about something real quick?
Is that just a start? He didn't start, did he? No,
Lively?
Lively did.
No, he did not. The calls in this game were insane in many different ways. The Mavs couldn't not foul a 3-point shooter apparently, even if you stepped to the side of him at all. And the most insane one though was the PJ Washington one with the offensive basket interference where they went to the AI and it was like, yes, that was basket interference. And the ball is clearly, unless the angle of the camera that I'm looking at was just completely skewed, but it was not over the basket when he grabbed it.
Did you see the AI thing they showed?
I did not.
But the little AI graphic, it was over the back. I don't think that's in the spirit of the game. Honestly, the way they showed it was like, what? It was like a little tiny molecule of the ball was over the cylinder. When he grabbed it.
Isn't it if the majority of the ball is over the rim? That's the way it's historically been played, right?
I mean, that's one of those things where it was like when a couple years ago when everything was reviewed and it was like it went off his fingernail, therefore it goes the other way. It's like this is not in the spirit of the game before reviewing all of these. And it's just I knocked it out of bounds, but it went off of the thread of his shorts last. This is the stuff I wish they didn't have.
PJ's spit hit the ball last, and so that is a part of the body. Well, this is the thing in European soccer where the VAR, where they have that it's basically the same thing where they have this just
is it VAR or VAR? They're gonna come after you if that's not right.
I don't really care if they do. I also called it soccer, so come after me for that too.
Wait, us Europeans call it football. I'll be in Europe a week from now, by the way.
Is Messi the best player of all time, or is,
No, real ball knowers will tell you Ronaldinho.
how many things can I mispronounce on purpose? So if it's VAR, whatever it is, but they have that thing where it shows just like it shows the line. It's a machine. It's like, all right, was it offsides? Was it not offsides? Or whatever. And their fans are always frustrated with it because it's like, okay, are we just going to go down to the very minuscule thing? But that offensive basket interference like really frustrated me because it wasn't right, and they challenged it and everything, and they still didn't get it. It didn't make any sense.
And there's no way they have access to that whenever they're deciding to challenge it. So they're just looking at the
Yeah,
overhead
right,
replay. Because,
The
the
Mavs.
overhead angle, it was, I'm with you. It's like that was a clear, clean play. And then, yep, they come back from the challenge and like, yeah, the challenge is unsuccessful. And I'm just like, what? And they show this AC 130 camera with the balls just like, and I mean, I'm just like, dude, that's not in the spirit of the game. I'm sorry. Just
No.
isn't.
No.
How about them doing and this is why the reviews are so annoying to me, that goaltend they called on that would have been and one. I think it was Deni who drove.
And then they review it, or is the one with Flag? The one with
Yes,
Flag
Coop,
hit it?
Klay fouled. I think it was Shane Sharp then. Klay fouled him.
Yeah, Klay fouled him.
Coop blocked it. And then they were like, goaltend, just so we can go review it. It's like, dude, it was like the most obvious non-goaltend of all time. You don't have to call it.
Oh, but they did.
They did.
But they
We had to
did.
sit through a review.
And here we are.
Wow,
Mavs
how
get
about this? Coop is 6th in the entire NBA in clutch points.
total?
Yep.
Well, they've played, 12 games?
That's true.
Clutch
That's actually true.
12 clutch games. So the Mavs win a clutch game, another overtime game, and the Mavs move forward. They're now 4-10. Are you feeling more confident with the Mavericks going forward?
Don't let us win 2 in a row.
Hey, some people said, hey, it was just a 13-game stretch at the beginning of the season. It could be a 13-game stretch at any point,
3-10 over any 13-game stretch is pretty brutal.
Yeah, but what if they go 10-3 over the next stretch?
Okay, then I'd be by. Okay, if they have they got a tough week this week schedule-wise. If they have a good week, okay, I can listen.
Okay, tomorrow we're doing Mavs versus Timberwolves. They're 14-point underdog, which I just talked about, and a second night of
What?
back-to-back. Mavs are a 14-point underdog.
Oh, that's insane.
Against the Timberwolves. Is Anthony Edwards playing?
That is
he back?
Yeah, he's back. That is like disrespect on another level.
14 is like what the Nuggets get against like the Kings.
Yeah,
or
that
like
is
the
crazy.
The Nets. Yeah, so take the 14, take the points. Then it's home for the Knicks after a day. Then it's home Pelicans, home Grizzlies. That's 2 games in a row you should feel
They've
good about.
got another 3-game homestand?
Yes. Yeah. Knicks, Pelicans, Memphis. 3 games in 4 nights. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Let's go. I live here.
Dude.
Slightly. I live here.
Dude, they've got this has to be the most home games. Have we talked about this?
But it's insane.
This has to be the most home games to start a season. Like, this is crazy.
The Stars have actually played a bunch of home games too, and like it's like their Olympics thing that they have to play a bunch of games for.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
so
That's this year.
The AAC workers are not having a good time. Not having a good time right now.
Well, hey, it's one of those things where it's like, let's just get it all out the way now, and then come January and February, we'll have a lot of time off.
I guess so. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about this game, reasons why the Mavs won. Go check out the links in the description for different ways to follow the show. Check out Slightly Biased, great YouTube channel. All kinds of good things happening there all the time. Sometimes I show up on there. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked on Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
Take us there, Cooper.